Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Comic John here with another movie review. I've seen 2 movies so far since since being vaccinated and, able to be out in public. The first one was Quiet Place 2. I thought it was great. And then I just got out of The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard with Ryan Reynolds, Selma Hayek, and Samuel L. Jackson. Also starring Morgan Freeman, Frank Grillo, the dude from Umbrella Academy. I can't remember his name, but the big guy, the big, huge dude, he's in it. And this movie was an action comedy with pretty violence, pretty graphic violence, and a lot of funny moments, and a lot of silly moments. Am I supposed to be taking the violence so seriously, or is all of this kind of a joke? There were a lot of late 90s tropes, like generic late 90s action scenes where Frank Grillo, who's just he's the exposition FBI agent who, delivers information, and there's a scene where the camera pans up from below, up to him, and he pauses, and there's this dramatic dun dun dun. The fate of Europe lies in the hands of a hitman and a bodyguard. That is a line in the movie, and I'm like, are they doing that like to be silly, or is it still like supposed to be kind of like Antonio Banderas is in it also, and he's so over the top. Do these guys know this movie's just kind of like a paycheck? The script is so paint by numbers, generic. The ending, there was a silly twist on the ending that I'm sure will set up, a third one to wrap up the trilogy. Or who knows, they probably will just keep doing these if they do well. Samuel Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, and Selma Hayek, they're all bankable. If they do a movie, people usually go to it. I just couldn't, it felt like this movie just couldn't decide if it was a comedy or if it was an action movie. And I know action comedy, but there was times where it just didn't work. Like the humor mixed with the violence, it like, I don't know, it was a weird vibe to get into. And the movie starts off so fast, and so many plot points are kind of like dropped in, that 20 minutes into the movie, like, is this almost over? Am I like reaching the end here? So there's like a delayed second act. Selma Hayek in the beginning was really, I had a weird interaction, a weird experience with her, because I always looked at her as a great actress, like one of the really like A-list actress. And I wasn't buying her. I wasn't believing her in the beginning. And it made me worried about, is that what I'm going to feel like when I watch her in Eternals? But I think it's just because she's doing comedy, and she's this over-the-top kind of psychopath con woman. And it was, I don't know, it just felt weird. She looks great. She hasn't aged since the first movie I ever saw her in, Fools Rush In, back in like the 90s. So she looks fine to me. But overall, the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, I'll never get it right. I'm going to give it a B-. Not a great movie. There's enough action and entertainment to keep you watching. It just, at times, you feel like, it feels like this was the first draft of a movie, and they could have probably tightened things up. And I see, in action comedies, I don't like it when they overdo the comedy. You know what I mean? The comedy has to be sprinkled in cautiously and meticulously. You do the action, the overall movie is an action, and then you fit in very precise comedy, like Beverly Hills Cop 2. It's primarily a real-life action movie with real stakes, but there is just a charm of comedy sprinkled in. And this movie may have over-sprinkled. I definitely recommend it. It's a fun movie. If you like the first one, you'll definitely like the second one. Although I don't know how I would know that because I've never seen the first one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your grandmother, leave a comment, hit that notification bell. I'll see you next week.